Everything that we have done on this show, we have never done before.
The only disadvantage in my eyes is that it was so new. We really didn't know what we were getting ourselves into.
Devised theater is a term for a non-traditional process of theater making, where you don't start with a script first. You start with research, elements of the stage, design concepts, ideas, and you bring all those into a practical rehearsal space. So it's not interpreting a script, it's creating performance.
Still Life with Rocket is about a family navigating the loss of their mother to dementia and their history together. And it's looking at memory and what happens when we don't have access to memory that we need. But we didn't have a script until about 9 weeks into the process. It's like making theater from nothing. So it's finding those, what I call the pillars, the central pillars of the ideas, and then the piece becomes the conversation between those pillars.
We were coming in improvising for 6 hours a day, just trying to figure out one moment that lasted 10 minutes on stage.
We're here at rehearsals for Still Life with Rocket. We have a lot of fun. We drink seltzer water, we sit on chairs, and we make fun of each other a lot. Ain't that right?
I mean, the improvisation is difficult because you have to dive in and commit, or you don't find the next moment. But we did, I think, about 2 weeks of physical work before we even started speaking.
You're flat-footed on your back foot. Good. Hands up. 1, 2.
So we have been coming to the gym from our first week of rehearsal. We could have taught them a choreography of boxing, but I want it in their bones. I want it in their cells. Like, I want them to know what it is to train as a boxer.
This family in the story, they are boxers, and the fact that we've had experience punching the bags and sparring a little bit and training just makes it all the more truthful and real.
Because of that personal investment, I mean, they really developed a genuine ownership of the process in, I think, all of us that I hadn't felt before working on a scripted play.
Devising space provides them agency to find their own creativity, to discover what is important to them. The biggest challenge in the devised process is the unknown. It's not knowing what comes next. And that's also the most exciting because, of course, you can then make decisions and choices and follow impulses toward wherever your impulses guide you. And then you can stop and you can go and you can critique that and you can say, okay, what did I love about that? What was really interesting about that? Let's go back and make a different choice and find out what else we can do.
I think it only works if you're with a great group of people, great group of artists. There's no room for ego. There's 40 brilliant minds that have input and ideas, pieces of themselves that they're putting in.
One of the things that Devised Theater gives to any student is puts them in a space where they must collaborate. And so once you have that trust, then you can work as an ensemble and you start working together a lot more. And it's exciting to see.
And in this case, in a warehouse, off campus, with a huge design team, the ensemble extended beyond the 13 performers. I mean, the ensemble included every single person from design and production that worked on this piece.
We worked with a set design from January until middle of February, and then what the cast was doing started to take shape, and so now we are adjusting our scenery to fit what they have come up with in the rehearsal space. A lot of the infrastructure and resources that normally we can rely on aren't there, so I've had to either work with the existing building and using that to my advantage, or designing new systems to work on their own. We've not really faked it theatrically, which is fun. It's a different challenge for us in the shop.
Oh my God. This is a playing space. Welcome home, y'all.
Guys, we lived here.
We've never had a set of this scale. We've never been in a location this big off campus before. And this is our first devised theater piece, so we've never had nothing and then produce the entire script and those characters and their looks and the world that they live in, and then come in and realize that. Everything that we have done on this show, we have never done before.
Everyone can follow me this way.
My hope with the Devised Theater program is that it allows a space for artists, young artists, to question what's important to them and to discover a practice that they can go out and make their own work. When you have that foundation of confidence of why you're in that space, telling that story, everything you say or do in that space, you know is landing with the audience in some way. And that can be a very powerful storytelling tool.
There's nothing for me like devising, because you start from nothing and you make together. It's special.
Having experienced what it's like to make something from myself with a group of people that I love dearly, and to actually claim something as my own and then see the effect it has on people is so, I think, important for a student. I think it's the most realized form of art education. It's the stage where you tell the student, now it's your turn.